Right. So today, well, obviously moved into digital here, actually moved into color. So I guess this is digital inking and coloring. And yeah, thus far it's been really pretty fun. I'm not sure how well this effect works of moving from the black to the eye. It seems like the transition is a bit forced, and I think the reflected light may have to show up here in the black panel. I don't know. The transition's not the greatest, but I don't know. I'm not not agonized over. I'm sorry. I'm going to try and not to go too crazy. Uh, Zipping around with the digital, zipping around with zooming in and out. I imagine that would be headache inducing and no fun. So yeah, so this is kind of where we're at, and I'm going to move on to the second page, um, just to do some fresh work on that. So to show that. By the way, this is silly, but in this panel here, um, yeah, this is silly, but the birds, the birds have been a lot of fun to deal with. I don't know. I've had a lot of fun uh, dealing with the birds here. So quickly take care of the last of that, and then we'll move on. Yeah, thus far I'm pretty pleased with how it's going. There's a lot still to try out. There's a lot still to test, but thus far I seem to be making, I think, decent progress, and I'm generally pretty pleased with how things are looking. Of course, yeah, it is. It is. I will admit it's early days, and uh, but the pencils, yeah, I think keeping the pencils kind of loose was a good idea um, for a lot of reasons. One, just so I don't get bored. If just following, if it's just paint by numbers, so to speak, in the digital, then yeah, we get pretty bored. All right, so I know you've already seen this, so I'm just going to go ahead and leap right in. So yeah, so I want to go ahead and do the inks here pretty quickly, and then, God willing, going to the move to some color. Show you how I'm kind of right now trying to work through that. Sure. Yeah. So pretty straightforward here. Uh, like I said, trying not to be too paint by numbers, because if I too paint by numbers, I'm just going to get bored. And yeah, I mean the inking, like each stage should have a life of its own. Each stage should have its own kind of uh, its own kind of strengths and weaknesses. And I will probably come back here and play some with the. I probably will, yeah, I don't know. I'll come back and have some. I'll invariably have some doubts about the proportions. And in fact, I'm going to keep this kind of loose and sketchy, even because I want to. There's some things I want to maybe work out. I could be a little happier with this arm, but for now, so be it. Uh, so, um, yeah. So as I say, I'm going to keep this pretty. I apologize. Let me know if the zooming in and out thing just drives you insane. If that's just killing you, I will try and restrict that a lot more. So, I can see how that would be pretty obnoxious. All right. So, yeah, the inking, so to speak, really just putting heavy black lines around things, which is totally characteristic of comic books. This is really just kind of the basics, really just kind of simple stage of this. I'm not sure if I'm not sure if the wood, I'm not sure if the coloration, which is going to look like tattoos. Although I don't want it to be tattoos because possible spoiler. Yeah, I want to use the wood, the blue color that I've talked about him having, the markings that I've talked about him having, and I'm gonna go ahead and do that in just a second, so you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. It doesn't seem so. It's not so abstract and silly sounding. Yeah. So I gotta admit, I don't, the inking stage, especially in like this format and digital, yeah, it's pretty, in a lot of ways, it's kind of unsatisfying. It looks very dead. It doesn't look very lively. But I have ways, it's just kind of a dead line. What I mean by dead line is it's consistent. It doesn't change. It's all the same thickness. It doesn't go from thin to thick, thin. It doesn't go back and forth. It doesn't have that kind of dynamic quality that lines can have if you do them with like a Crowquill pen or a pencil. Those tools are much more sensitive to your hand. So if any geniuses out there want to come up with, tools that make that possible in this format, man, I would love that. All right. So, okay. So you probably know this, but so, right, I'm going to do a color layer underneath. Right, all the color, well, most of the color layers are going to be underneath, and this is kind of, this is going to be tough. I have doubts about this. So I need to decide what color the markings are going to be. By the way, I know that like the solid color is going to look kind of silly here initially. That's just the way it's going to have to be because it won't look this way in the end. I mean, it won't look this cartoony. It won't look this silly. Well, not silly's not fair, and cartoony's fine. Perhaps that would be fair. Yeah, I don't know. Let me know though if you like the. Let me know if you think the blue works good. If this particular shade of blue works well for this, because I've agonized about this a lot, and I'm still agonizing about it. So yeah, right. For initially that's just going to be a solid shade, and then let's see, try basic skin tone sort of situation. Too much. Betterish. Okay, let's try that with just kind of a very. I'll add highlights and I'll add changes to all of these. So I guess that's pretty obvious. All right, so I worry that like a lot of the technical blah 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 is just kind of boring to people. So maybe I should talk about other stuff while I'm doing this. I mean, right now it's pretty obvious what I'm doing. I'm just doing a paint by numbers kind of situation. Although, yeah. Anyway, so man, major. Got to do a lot of sculpture stuff today. Up against some kind of hard self-imposed deadline situations. So, gonna run. Once I'm done here, I have to start blazing on sculpture. Fairly major work that I'm ready to get done, and yeah, but although it's kind of three very. There's three sculptures I have right now that are in pretty serious stage of development, and yeah, it's stupid. It seems stupid to talk about these. I should show them to you, but anyway, the main one I'm dealing with right now. I'm pretty happy with the proportions, but struggling with the facial expression, struggling with that. Right now I'm struggling to get the right stupid color for this. By the way, yeah, just back to, I don't know, technical crap or technical garbage. I'm using Krita here, which freeware program. I think it's great. I also like GIMP an awful lot. I think GIMP is swell too. But yeah, using Krita for this, and it's an awesome program. I definitely recommend checking it out. So yeah, So, okay, yeah, one question that you can help me with if you want is, like, so you see the marking on his eye, should that be outlined in black? Well, you know, you need to do the whole thing. And yeah, I'm kind of embarrassed at how things look at this stage. Everything gets kind of coloring booky, and yeah, it's a little embarrassing, but that's the way it has to be. Using the saw, I'd really like not to have to do so much the solid color, but I kind of got to do the solid color because, yeah, basically if I do layers, if I do other colors underneath it, and the upper layers or the upper colors, the colors above or semi-transparent, the colors underneath come through and change the colors above, and it becomes kind of a muddle pretty quickly. All right, I'm not sure I should talk about those things because it seems like it'd probably make more sense to show you. All right, so right now I'm more or less just, I believe it's called spotting blacks. I'm more or less just filling in the big dark areas that we're going to have. Yeah. All right. But yeah, some major sculpture work type stuff I had today. And yeah, I really want to get over to the gym. I got over to the gym yesterday, and that was awesome. I totally racked out last night. Totally fell asleep, and like and you tell me this happened to other people as like reading Kindle, and I drop it, I fall asleep and let it go, and it falls and smashes me on, it falls and smashes me and smashes my face, and I wake up for a moment, and I kind of try and read some more, and falls on my face again. I realize this is kind of futile and stupid, and so I close up the Kindle and go to sleep. But so do other people do that? Do other people? It's even worse. Like if I'm reading like some kind of big hardbound volume, and then drop that on my face as well. Pretty ridiculous. Pretty silly. So yeah. The digital work, the working with the digital inking, I gotta say, thus far, it's been more fun than I thought it would be. Kind of enjoying it more than I thought I would. Yeah, one of the things with drawing, basically, a comic book. I mean, not basically, it is a comic book. One of the things with drawing a comic book is, what's weird about it, for me at least, is you're not doing like if you're doing a painting or a drawing or a sculpture, you're kind of doing an individual work of art, and the question is how does that individual work of art look? How's it turning out? I mean, there's that with comic books, because so is this page any good? How's this page look? Is this page working? Is it not working? All sort of questions like that. Man, I'm really going to have to set up a reference guide for this guy, for Korr. And man, I'm so anxious. I still want to change the name. I still have to change the name of this book. So Korr is just officially the working title. I suspect in the end he's just going to be nameless. Very Cormac McCarthy. So what I was saying is kind of production and rate of production, like the speed at which you're going to be able to do all these pages. Is kind of, I mean, if you're doing a painting, you're probably only doing one painting. You're not going to paint like a whole, you might, but like you're probably not going to paint a whole series of. You're not going to be painting 30 paintings to tell a story. You might. It's not unimaginable, but generally speaking, you won't. So something that's always going to come up with comic books with this kind of production is, I think really like this, the kind of speed that we're talking about, like how how long is this taking. Remember that you're going to basically have to do this style, right? You're basically going to have to handle things a similar way on other pages. Yeah, so you're dealing with something. Yeah, obviously you're dealing. Obviously, it's visual, and you're dealing with that, and so you also want to get this done at some point. So you're dealing with like what kind of technique can I use to make this proceed quickly enough? Because obviously you can't just agonize over pages forever. Right. Okay. All right. So basic idea, I think, of what's kind of going to be going on with the inking and with the coloring. And yeah, there's going to be a lot of, I mean, I'm going to do highlighting and so forth. Not, yeah, that's pretty obvious. So let's talk background real quick. By the way, I think this recording is going to be, I think sound quality is going to be like, a slew better. I really hope so. I listened to some of this before test run, and yeah, sounded way better. So I really hope that's the case. So we're about to hurl so just gonna light. This is going to be the basic. It's going to be the background for really just the sky, and we'll come along and deal with that. Yeah, I wish I had some pop culture things to talk about, but right now, my day is just going to be kind of a pretty hardcore sculpture day. I have to do some I have to do a lot of just kind of very straightforward stuff. And so my day is just going to really be cranking away on that, and I probably won't really have a chance to consume any sort of pop culture things. Which is kind of too bad, because I definitely like hearing what other people are reading, what films people are checking out, what they think is good, what they think is working, what they think is worth your time, and what isn't. So anyway, alright, so I'm going to cut this here, cut off this recording in a second. So I think it should just give you an idea of where we're at. I guess this is like in Let's Play videos. I'm trying to cut out a lot of the grinding. I'm trying to cut out a lot of the just the various experiments with the colors and the backgrounds and figuring out what works and what doesn't. And oh yeah, I should mention one more thing. I'm kind of, I kind of want like it's probably too much. I was kind of thinking of having the rhinoceri. I was kind of thinking of having small panels in here of their expressions, but yeah, if I'm being honest, it's a bad tendency of mine. There's a tendency to make I have a tendency to do too much. I have a tendency to try to pack too much in. So probably good to try and keep things. Yeah, I don't know. You're going to see the rhinoceri in the panel above this one. You can see the figures. See the Cromagnon charging toward them. Yeah, we'll just have to see. We'll just have to see how that works. I think that'll work all right. So yeah, all right. So thanks for checking this out. I'll be back soon with more. Got to do a lot more of the grinding, a lot more of the experimentation, a lot more of nailing down exactly how this is going to look. So yeah, thanks for checking this out, and yeah, take care. I will talk to you later.